Okay, we'll go ahead and call this council regular session to order. It's Wednesday, July 19th, time is 7 p.m. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll go ahead and open it up for visitor comments, and we'll allow you 3 minutes, and we'll listen and take notes if needed. And if you'd like to come up and participate, you can share your name.
My name's Nick. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to read from an article that I read in Scappoose newspaper by Philip Stanton. So when I took a course in pharmacology once back in college, I attended a lecture from a renowned cardiologist. His topic was the proper approach to prescribing blood pressure medications. He began the lecture with a simple question: what is the most effective way to lower blood pressure? After a long silence from the class, the most effective way to lower blood pressure is to, of course, kill the patient. It lowers the blood pressure to 0 in a matter of seconds. Then, after a dramatic pause, he added, but always keep in mind, killing the patient is rarely the best approach to improving the patient's overall health. I cannot help to think of this sage advice as I observed the deaths of 3 beloved businesses in St. Helens Old Town: Running Dog Brewery, Dockside Restaurant, and Molly's Market. Through the circumstances of each of these closures are multifaceted. All 3 closures do not share one common symptom. They all share one common symptom: the triggering of fire codes that prevented these businesses from connecting existing dining areas. In the case of Running Dog, the issue was a fire code preventing the owners from reopening the previously existing passage between their 2 adjoining pub spaces. The same fire code came into play when Dockside owners considered the newly defunct Running Dog space as an option for remaining open in the old town after the current building was sold. In the case of Molly's Market, the same fire code prevented Molly Matchek from opening her newly remodeled bar area, directly resulting in her deciding to close her store entirely at the end of April. No one would suggest that cities should not use fire codes to make buildings and businesses districts safer, any more than my professor is advocating that doctors should not prescribe blood pressure medications to increase the health of their patients. But if the ultimate result of applying codes to make buildings safer results in the perpetual closure of vital businesses, perhaps it is time to consider the overall effect that these closures have on both the life of our business districts and the ultimate level of public safety we are all trying to achieve. There are many factors that affect overall public safety and health, including whether buildings and businesses are open and serving the public good. You could ask, what is the effective way to keep the public safe in older buildings? The answer, of course, is to close them entirely and lock the doors. It seems we are seeing this pattern playing itself out in old time today in real time, but at some point, perhaps we should keep in mind my old professor's advice: killing the patient is rarely the best approach to improving the patient's overall health. Thank you so much.
Any other visitor comments?
Brady Freeman. So I only saw a little bit of the report that John Walsh did in his minutes about the water treatment plant and the lagoon. My concern is, I pay attention to a lot of stuff. There's no discussion about the fact that if we get rid of the lagoon, we have to build a new sewage treatment plant, which is $170 million. So it's not just a conversation about what do we do with the lagoon or whether it's going to make us money or cost us money. It's a huge expense. And I think that if we are, whatever conversations or whatever the plan is, it needs to be clear that getting rid of the lagoon means building a new water treatment plant, because it wasn't clear to me, and I pay attention to most stuff, probably more than most people. And I don't know if you were even aware of that if something happens to the lagoon, or whether we fill it in or whatever, that's a lot of money. And I don't think we have the money to spend $170 million on a water treatment plant. And so I just think that needs to be part of that conversation. We have to have money to build a new water treatment plant. So, thank you.
small crew today.
Yeah, we have one with I should have announced that at the beginning of the meeting, I apologize, Councilor Hilton is at the fair with the My Fair Ladies, she is the director for Avamere. So she's there, and Councilor Berkeley had some other,
No problem, no problem.
yeah.
Just a comment.
Name for the record, please.
Mayor Scholl,
Name for the record.
I'm getting there.
Oh,
Mayor Scholl, councilors, my name is Jim Coleman. I've been a resident of St. Helens most of my life. Last year at the April council meeting during public testimony, the tourism director came before this council and requested $250,000 purchase a water taxi. And that was kicked around for that meeting. And then the next meeting in May of 2022, this is a year ago, over a year ago now. There was public testimony. I testified, several other people testified. And again, she testified. And there was a lot of conversation from her that this boat was COI inspected. It was already done. It was ready to go. Just give me the money. I'll purchase the boat. It'll be here for August of last year to go into service. It has a COI. She said it repeatedly. It has a COI. It has a COI. I have 30 years of maritime experience, and I'm familiar with Coast Guard inspections. And it didn't have a COI at that time. And the council went ahead and voted 4-1 to approve 4-1-3-1 to approve that purchase for this boat in Florida. So that happened. The money went to Florida, but the boat didn't come to Oregon. Why didn't the boat come to Oregon? Because it didn't have a COI. The Florida Coast Guard said we have to do all of this for their inspections to give our certification to it. So they finally got that. Here we are, July of 2023, and it arrived here last month. Still, but that's what the Florida Coast Guard approval, COI, Certificate of Inspection, is critical for that size of boat to have to operate. So it comes to Oregon in June. The Portland Coast Guard office still has jurisdiction over this boat going into service. It has not granted a COI for operation. It has to go through the Portland office now because Florida is in Oregon. And they have to do a on-site inspection with the captain and certain things, and then it will get its COI certificate. So it's never had a COI. It was told, you guys were convinced it had a COI, you approved $250,000 because in your minds, it was all certified and ready to go. So here we are today, and the boat is not in service and still does not have a COI. So just a heads up on the history of that boat. It'll probably get the COI, I understand, next week maybe, and it'll go into service, but just for the history, for educate, you guys weren't here. But just for the little history of how that got here, it was through a falsified COI that wasn't there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other visitor comments? I'm just here observing. Okay, we'll go on to resolution number 1987, the resolution expressing support and authorizing staff to apply for a transition and growth management grant from the Oregon Department of Transportation and help fund the update to the city's transportation system management plan.
The motion that we approve resolution number 1987.
I'll second that. Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve resolution 1987. Councilor Sundin.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson. Aye. And I'm an aye as well. Okay, award bid contract, award bid and authorize mayor to sign contract with Specialized Pavement or Pavement Marking LLC for 2023 street striping project in the amount of $53,944.
Motion that we award bid and or contract with Specialized Pavement Marking LLC for the street striping project. I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve me to sign the signature for the street striping of $53,944. Counselor Cindy?
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson? Aye. And I'm an aye as well. Okay, approved and authorized for signature. First amendment to Kelson and Associates, Inc. Agreement for South First Street and St. Helens Street intersection improvement project. Or agreement with McKinstry Extension LLC for micro planning and preliminary design for public safety building. And 5, amendment to number 1 to McKenzie agreement for public safety building design.
I'll make a motion to approve items 3.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to approve and authorize the signatures of items 3, 4, and 5. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Counselor Anderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Consent agenda for acceptance, grant agreement with Oregon Parks and Rec Department for McCormick Park Veterans Memorial Upgrade Project. 7, agreement with Native Plantscapes Northwest LLC for blackberry mowing and herbicide application and around Columbia View Park. 8, library board minutes dated June 12, 2023. 9, Parks and Trails Commission minutes dated June 12, 2023. And 10, Planning Commission minutes dated May 9th and June 13th.
Motion that we consent agenda items 6 through 10 for acceptance.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve consent agenda 6 through 10. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Consent agenda for approval, council minutes dated June 7th, 2023. Library board minutes, or library board 5-year strategic plan, excuse me.
Sorry, do you want to adopt that, or did you want to hold off on that because of the fact that?
Because so I'm able to give our presentation today. So let's go ahead and wipe off the 5-year strategic plan, because that was gonna be a Suzanne Bishop was gonna actually discuss that earlier in her report. So we're wiping that one. So 13, accounts payable bill list. And 14, new council regular session minutes dated June 21st, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve line items 11, 13, and 14.
Second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve line items 11, 13, and 14. And if anybody wouldn't recognize, we actually are approving our minutes, number 14. We have looked them over, all of us very carefully, agree with that. Because of some time sensitive stuff that was needed there, so just in case it does come up. So Councilor Cindy.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Yeah, I don't think we had any work session items earlier. Councilor reports, Councilor Cindy.
Right, as John talked a little bit about today, the planning for the police station is continuing, so there's been weekly, sometimes more, several times a week meetings, and all the meetings and details, which way the doors are gonna swing and moving fixtures and covers and all kinds of fun stuff, so I'm looking forward to seeing a finalized plan here pretty soon. We had our Parks Commission meeting last Monday. They have started a process to examine parks fees and special use permits, so they started that discussion and are planning on continuing that over the next few months. And then Jacob is here for the next reason. They're hoping to have a liaison from the commission start attending city council meetings and planning commission meetings, just to be more aware and involved with what's going on. So we should start seeing more of our commission members at our meetings, which is which will be good. So, but other than that, I think things are going okay. It's always fun to be downtown here and see lots of people out and about and lots of fun stuff going on. Enjoyed the city and county meeting that we had. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. And then looking forward to the fair this week. So I think that's all I've got.
All right. Dr. Gunderson?
So I attended the planning commission meeting, last Tuesday. Things are going very smoothly and, they're doing a really good job. Excited to see about the new
Subcommittees?
no, well, the subcommittee, and as well as the what they're gonna be doing with the
Vacant position.
no, well, that too, but the
Gateway.
the gateway feature, thank you, good lord.
We'll get there eventually.
That's about all I got.
Alright, so I'm sitting here signing stuff, I'm just gonna go on the fly, I mean, so yes, it was really good, the city county dinner, we were able to host, we had, Jim McCauley from the League of Oregon City do a presentation on what's going on with the state. And, kind of reported some of the dysfunction that was happening there this year, because you gotta remember, they were on Zoom for quite a few years, so. 2/3 of them haven't even never been into a room together. And about 1/3 is all brand new, this new elected year, so. Talked a little bit about how difficult it was for in the walkout and just everything that was going on. He said he did see some signs of hope that maybe in the future they can work together, especially with the House together, so. But it was good to have that league, because they represent us there, for us cities, that's who we lean on to be our advocate. At that big level, they're our strongest advocate, of course, we all have our own senators in our districts, and it was too bad that Senator Weber, she was meeting with people, probably still maybe even finishing up, I'm not sure. But wasn't able to make it, she at 2 o'clock today, but she was here today meeting with some of our citizens. Good to have that meeting, to also for people to be introduced to her as well, and we're tearing up our city, you know, I mean. People be patient with us, this is kind of was the plan, was to do it all at once and just rip the Band-Aid off and try to get it in the ground so we can get it out, and then right now we're really close to putting out the bid for the park and the boardwalk project, phase 1. So looking forward to that. Counselor Sunday spoke on the police station. We got a lot of things going on as a city, and so just be patient, and we appreciate that we get the opportunity to help assist our citizens, and they get what we're trying to do. So I don't hear a lot of complaints. I do occasionally, but I usually say, you know what? We deserve this nice waterfront, so just be patient. They're like, you're right, we do. That's they start arguing, and then when I say that, they're like, you're right, we do. So parking's, gonna be an issue for a while, so. Other than that, the fair's going on, we got the sandcastle competition coming up. I think we might have a meeting right prior to that, so we have a meeting on August 2nd, so. So I'm kind of speaking a little prematurely on that one, but 5th and 6th, it's amazing what those sand sculptors can do over there at Sand Island. I go over there and judge Sunday. And I'm just amazed at their abilities last year, and I think they got the same group, had 2 world ice sculptors. A guy who was on the Food Network doing pumpkin carving and cake carving was over there. Wade and Brittany's, who are the locals who help facilitate that whole thing, are both very talented, and they're local just across the river. And so if you haven't seen some real big sand castle competitions, this is the real deal here. I mean, they're no joke, so
I invite everybody to come out and try to get over to the island. Whether you need to pay for the shuttle ride or you own a boat, get over there and check it out. So. Yeah, I think that's all I have to report on. Any go backs? Anybody forget anything? No?